It's a lot of noise. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you all. We have more people in the garden than I imagined with the idea of no chairs. So there's no one's going to show up. And Chris even remembered to bring his chair, is very impressive. Very impressive. And so what I was starting to say before I remembered to record is that today is an auspicious day for infinite reasons. It is auspicious because it is a day, right? We start right there. And we are alive, generally well enough to participate, to be a part of this day. And so already it is the most amazing blessing, isn't it? And then we have the auspiciousness of opportunities then in the day, right? And some we know or commit to or take a stand for, and some we actually don't know. And I thought today I might talk about the ones we don't know, since many of you have already a construct for part of your day. Some of you will be going to take a stand for your ideas, concepts around freedom or democracy. Some of you won't because you're another view, a view that says this has possibility, or I will be, after some thought, at a retreat today, because as I thought about where could the things that I am offered in this day most available, most usable, and because all of you will not be at the retreat, as an example, I felt some call to be there, to accept the blessings from this lovely Tibetan Lama for not myself, but for us all. And I will try to bring back as much of those blessings as I can. And so I wrote a few things and then sent something. Did anybody see it on 4 kinds of faith? Did anybody see that? Anybody see that? 4 kinds of faith. And we want to begin by remembering that in this tradition, the Buddhist tradition in particular, it is not very narrative, but it is highly linear, right? There's a lot of lists. And so there's the 3 of these and the 4 of those, and the 2 of these and the 1 of those, and right. And it is for oral transmission, number 1. Easier to bullet it out than to talk about it for a very long time and then hope that somebody gets it right? Because the more words you put on something, the more personalized, or personality might come into the narration. And the Buddha said, no, these are pure. These are strictly things to observe, witness, and investigate. And so we don't need all that language. It's not going to be helpful, but go see for yourself if these things are true. And so already in the Buddhist tradition, the idea of faith is altered by not being something to blindly, is the word sometimes used, or indiscriminately, without your own inquiry, investigation, know to be true. No, nobody, no matter how charismatic, no matter how much money, no matter how pleasant the sound to you, these things on their own are not sufficient, are they? They do not stand. The only thing that stands is what? The truth, the test, the verification, the confidence over time. And that means what? We are now required, by virtue of this one thing, this one idea of faith, to stay awake, aren't we? See, look what must come with it. Faith alone, right? We're already saying this, is completely insufficient. It is simply a good idea. It is a preferred cosmology. It gives you comfort, let's say, but by itself, says these teachings, inadequate without these wisdom elements. And wisdom can only be what cultivated through what? Present moment wakefulness, present moment arrival. Here, like this, what is true this moment? And then what is true this moment? And what is different about this moment, right, than another moment? And how can I stay active, engaged, inquiring, and also then be willing to change your mind? To go, whoops, I now have some evidence that says what I was imagining was true is not true in quite the solid or fixed or right stagnant, we could even say, way. I have to make room now, don't I? For this is interesting. Yesterday, I'll give you a small, very small example just in real life. We were going down to a performance called Revolution by Encore Musical Group. They were very lovely, very passionate. Some of the singers were Broadway quality. It was just striking. Heard some songs I haven't heard in 25 or 30 years or more. It reminded me that we have all been here before, right? Like, oh, yeah, uh, including the song Revolution. There it was. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. That was there. We were, right? And that this responsibility or this duty, one might even say, or maybe we might add privilege of taking a stand is ours, isn't it? It is ours. And however we do that, right, then matters. So just know that. Uh, so we're at this musical, and we've talked about it, the four of us, and we're saying, oh, it could be crowded. And wow, the fair traffic's really going to potentially be an impediment. And right, this is good anticipating, right? This is what you do. It's called planning, very wise. Uh, and so we leave a little early. We leave a lot early, actually. So we leave very early, and we're driving along, all of us going, where's all the cars? There's no one on the road. It looks like 5 in the morning. This is Friday at 5:25. And now we're all like, what where'd it go? And it lasts for quite some time beyond the fair, down south, right? We're going, this is a very interesting thing. Now, by the way, I have absolutely not one answer for what that was at all. It actually shook me a little. I went, does somebody know something I don't know? Like, has something happened that I have not been informed about? Because this Friday traffic by itself, right? We know this. We're all nodding, right? We have some evidence for this. This evidence is verified, by the way, by these nods. It's not just me and my insane mind. I'm looking at you. You're going, that's right. There usually is Friday traffic, and it can be horrendous, and you can barely get anywhere. And we're driving, and there's nothing. And it's not just light, it's like open. Now, again, cannot explain, but what? Can I hold this truth by virtue of the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth, and the knowing that said, well, this is interesting. This is curious. I might even inquire more because I'm so struck by the reality of this, right? And consequently, may likely orthogonally shift my view, right? So, what I have to now say is that it is not always crowded on Fridays at 5:30. This simple thing, right? And literally, my wisdom factor has grown, hasn't it? And then what do I have faith in? If this is the wisdom factor, inquiry, investigation, exploration, staying present, where's the faith in this? The faith is I will uh, continue to inquire so as to understand more, right? I don't have the whole picture. I just have now one additional moment, shifted things. And I can now not go, well, now there's not traffic on Fridays at 5:30. This would not be reasonable. I can't move into black and white thinking. Has anybody noticed we got a lot of that going on? A lot of black and white thinking, a lot of catastrophic thinking, a lot of we're going to, right, this is good. And we don't know. And yet, can we prepare, plan, consider is one of the words used in the sutta that I love. Consider the possibility. And then the bigger work is in the consideration that there might be traffic on a Friday at 5:30. We must stay open to the reality because the reality was not that, at least not that moment with those conditions. And neither can we lock up on that. Can we go, well, so now there are no, right? So we get this idea. Okay. So I sent out the article. Good morning, Brad. Good to see you. I sent out the article and I want to just go over it for a moment. Now we're going to sit. So I sent out an article. I think it was by Sharon Salzberg. I think I chose to send that one on the 4 kinds of faith. We're going to practice a reflection today on those 4 levels, we'll call it, 4 inquiries into faith. But I also read an article in a book we're considering by Khenpo Sodargi. Khenpo is a Tibetan, highly skilled scholar in the Tibetan tradition. And so he took very traditional Buddhist cosmology, but I want you to see how close it is to Sharon's. She does not. She does a slightly different thing. So this is what Khenpo says. Clear faith, one version of faith, arises when one sees or hears the sublime qualities of the 3 jewels and experiences a sense of wonder, of awe, of uplift. Does anybody know that moment of being filled? It's resonant, isn't it? It's vibrational. It has nothing to do with just the Buddhist teachings, does it? It's happening every moment in our lives. We see a flower and, right, literally our breath is taken away, right? Something like that. That sunset with those pinks and oranges and, right, and we walk out. We've been asleep the whole time preparing dinner and the same, right? So this moment of being struck, can we think of it that way? With awe, wonder, the beauty of the world, sometimes the pain as well of the world. We're going to include both sides. It's not an either or, right? But he says this is the very first vision and version of faith. Little man, treat. Treat. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on up over here. Come on. Okay, so the treat is love. So we're gonna do some loving. So this version of faith is inspired. Can anybody think of a moment where you were there going, there is something greater than me? It could have been in nature. It could have been listening to music, right? It could have been in the pet of an animal, a dog. I had a confrontation with 3 juvenile coyotes during my month-long retreat. I was in awe every day. And they would come and sit every day and wait for me, right? Awe. Like, I don't even understand what the relationship is, and it doesn't even matter, right? The truth of it is striking. I remember as a 6-year-old sitting in a church listening to my grandmother sing, and it still brings tears to my eyes. And she was an opera singer. And so she sang out from the middle of this church in a way that you knew God was in the room, right? And people would turn and look at her, and I would be embarrassed because, right? And I'd say, Grandma, stop singing. Stop singing. Because I didn't yet know. I didn't yet know, right? So you all know this moment. And it says, as it relates then to the Dharma, you have that moment. You have had that moment that something was said, someone was there. You experienced a quality in another that woke you to something greater, didn't it? than your mundane everyday life, didn't it? It had to, because you wouldn't have gotten up on Saturday otherwise. So this, right, uh, influx, this charge, and Kenpo says it is essential because otherwise you're just using your head, and your head will not be enough for this path, will it? It is insufficient completely. Doesn't mean we don't need it for wisdom. It means if you're only being analytical and logical, you will fall and fail, that there would be no other way. This is the value and benefit of faith. It comes with that physical, doesn't it? It's known, it's awakening, it's vital, it's vibrant, right? And it's important, isn't it? And we call on that, says these teachings, every single time we sit. We have to remember that, and not only in ourselves, but then all those others who knew that and then who lived that too, right? Now taking faith, right, and adding wisdom. I'm going to pay attention to that charge. And then aspiring faith, he says, this type of faith leads one to aspire to attain qualities similar to those we have experienced who have something we want: peace, ease, fearlessness, strength, compassion, right? We see it in someone and we inquire, what is this in you? Because I want this too, right? And we must see it in others. We're going to talk about that more today. Aspiring faith, the faith that go, I like that. I did that with John Kabat-Zinn. I did that with my teacher, Joko Beck, right? I saw something in them that made me go, I want that. That looks like something I need in my own life. You know this too. A teacher, a coach, an aunt, a grandmother. I want that. And then confidence or convicted faith. This becomes faith with analysis. We just talked about that, so I don't want to beat it up. The faith that goes, is it true? Do I see it in all conditions? Where do I see it? Where do I not see it? Right? We're bringing our good minds into our faith. Is it actually accurate? And when is it? When it is it not accurate? We have to put it to the test. Sharon Salzberg says it must be verified. Faith unverified is simply belief or wishful thinking, right? We get this, don't we? It is not sufficient, is it? How is my practice then of benefit to me every day? That's a really good question. Verify it. Is my day better because of my commitment to my practices, to the teachings, to this way of being? And I already know the answer. I'm not asking from that place of verification. I have sufficiently verified. It is better every day that I commit myself to the teachings, to the Dharma, to the practices, and to this way of being every single day, no matter what's in that day. No matter its circumstances, it is verified, right? And that confidence is also a level of saying, I can stick with this because I know enough, right? I don't know everything, and we don't have to, do we? I don't need to know. I know enough to go, this is good. This, right, is to be continued, right? And so the final version, my favorite, really. And I would say this is something we're all aspiring to and none of us have yet secured, is unshakable, irreversible, imperturbable, perpetual faith, that there is no question at any time, in any moment, under any circumstance or difficulty, that you know the path because you have practiced it, right? Those other levels of faith are nurturing this confidence, this continued unshakable faith in you. And then we do those others again, right? We're in awe again. We find others who are examples for us of things we want to secure and be. And today, no matter what you're doing, if you're in a retreat, if you're going to a protest, if you're going to care for your daughter, your children, you're going to cook a meal for a father tomorrow, I want you to be that example. And I have that confidence in all of you to be that example. That means if you're at the retreat that you are regarding, as I will be, of these teachings, whether I know them or I don't know them, right? I will treat those as valuable. You will, if you're standing on a curb or a street or holding a sign, you will also be an example today. And that example goes beyond that street or that corner or that sign or that one issue, doesn't it? It goes all around. Yeah. And we have to be careful. In the protest that I was in Chicago, the Hands Across Chicago, it was called, and it was a 30-mile chain of beings, human beings, going from Aurora, which is where an area I used to grow up, all the way to Chicago. And what was happening very quickly was that people who were driving, who were not necessarily had the same views, were starting to scream obscenities. And as they started to scream obscenities, the people on the sidelines started to scream back. And I said, we cannot do this. We cannot do this. This is not the way. This cannot work. We're saying it's not okay. So then you cannot become this thing, right? That you're saying is not workable. And everybody was like, well, then what do you say? And I'd like you to think about that. And then what do you say? And so the only thing I could think of at the time on the spot was democracy for us all, freedom for us all, ease for us all. Right? And by the way, as we began to find a little chant for that, the people who were giving us the finger were now looking out the window like, what did you just say? Instead of fuck Trump, which was very easy to come out of a lot of folks' mouth. It was like, what? And I said, for you too. I want ease. I want happiness. I want freedom. I want joy for you too. And what? To know what to do with it. We don't, do we? We don't. Be that. Be that today, whether you're on a street or in the kitchen. Do you get this idea? Isn't this a lovely rendering of faith? Because it's so true, isn't it? As you're reflecting on your own life, that moment where you went, there is something, it is bigger, I'm a part of it, and I have a role here. And not only then a role as we grow and a responsibility to it, and it doesn't feel overwhelming, it feels wonderful, right? I can support this amazing life with all of its really, truly infinite capacities for love, for joy, for compassion and care by this moment alone. This is it. Like nothing more to have to do. I take so much heart from that. Like I don't have to figure out how to do it tomorrow, but I can be that. Really, I can be that today, even when it's hard. Like I don't even know what to say yet. We're going to go with something pretty simple. Okay. So we're going to prepare to sit. Is there anybody there? I want to check, make sure I don't have Carrie. Is there anybody asking any questions about this? I'm going to check in with my Zoom crew. Anything there that we need to investigate or inquire into before we practice? Looks like we're good. Yes, someone?
I don't know. I think I'm just stubborn. I just don't know how to do this.
Yeah, none of us do, Graciela. You're not, there's no wizard here. We're all struggling. And the struggle is good. This is a good, I love that you're struggling. That's fabulous because that means you're awake a little bit to probably not the way I'm doing it, which is the beginning of all good change, isn't it? Like, probably not this. Don't we start like that?
Yeah.
Like, maybe
I
not those words, like, or maybe not that tone of voice, or maybe not that grimace,
yeah.
maybe not that eye roll, just right now. But don't climb the mountain. It's a step at a time. Be careful that you think, now I've got to be completely different. You only want to be different now. And you just did it by acknowledging a truth. I can be pretty stubborn. I can be a little sassy. I can be difficult. I can be aggressive,
Yeah.
right? And maybe I am angry. Remember, we don't take any emotion as an inherent problem by itself at all. You just want to do what we said in the faith factors. We want to verify, is this the best way? Is it good for me? Probably, by the way, from the physiology we know about stress, the answer is it is not. It's wearing out your organs. It's shrinking your brain, by the way, folks. Does it make it bad? No. And sometimes we need the energy of anger in order to make positive change, but we cannot bring the aggression. And so you're working on it just like we are, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. And I need to work on not being so hyper vigilant about, I mean, I know what's happening at the macro level,
Yes.
but I'm also very hyper vigilant about the micro level of aggression. And I know that through the work I've done with you, like, of course, I acknowledge it in myself first. And I'm like, wow, if I'm doing the work and I feel like this, imagine someone who doesn't really look at themselves. So
That's right.
I, because of the line of work I'm in, I can't afford to focus so much on the microaggressions because I
That's
need
right.
to focus on all the good too. Otherwise, I'm no good to anyone. But
That's right.
so I see it all, how it's impacting me.
Yes.
And I just really need to refocus and look at that because otherwise
You're going to sink.
I can't help anybody.
That's right. If you're only looking at the dark night, you will miss the bright, shining, great eastern sun. We have to bring it all. Remember, this is a wisdom factor. We have to remember, don't we, that even in the dark night, this is a faith factor, then, isn't it? That's
Mhm.
actually the dawn. We all forget.
Yeah, and the
Right.
last thing that I need help with is that I'm also becoming very self-righteous and proud, which can be positive and also perhaps negative. I'm not sure, but
Yeah. If it's
about
pride against, if it's arrogance, if it's I've got it, you don't got it, it is now an official problem.
well, no, not about being, you know, more self-aware. No, because I know I'm really not. It's more about being Mexican, my heritage, being
Oh, yeah.
proud of immigrants,
Yeah. Lovely.
being proud of my contributions,
Yes.
and going, wow, like I have so much wealth because of that.
Yes. You do. You
That's
do.
the kind of arrogance I'm
That's not
getting.
arrogance at all. That's knowing goodness. And we need you, Graciela, don't we? We need you to be proud of your lineage, of your heritage, so that we can see the good in it against all of the caricature, right? Against all of the profiling, against all of the myth, against all of the falsity of it. You are the example of the goodness. Good for you. We need you, actually. And that's the opposite of arrogance.
Okay.
Yeah, that's not the same.
Well,
So
thank you.
you're so welcome. Keep doing that, please. All right, we're going to prepare to sit. Here we go. I want to find this because I had some written. reflections I want to make sure to invite. Okay, here we go. And so we're going to, just like Graciela said, call to mind our lineage. And we're going to call to mind all that is good in it. And it is both a relative lineage and a universal lineage. We call to mind both these conventional truths and these ultimate truths. So we call together our family, our relatives, our culture, our heritage. We remember those from whom we came. And like Graciela, we are joyful and proud. And then we recollect all those others throughout all time, all of the wise ones, all of the blessed ones, all of the awakened ones. And we go across traditions here. We can use the concepts of Jesus, the Buddha. We can use real people like Mother Teresa, Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., right? There's all of these examples. We can call to mind Kuan Yin, who hears the cries of the whole of the world and has the hands and the heart to respond. So we call them to mind and we let that radiant light of their beings shine down and in and upon us. We remember that we are a part of this. And we rest in this Dharma seat. This gifted and precious human life accorded to few and supported by everything. And we're going to see for a moment if we can't simply wake up in awe, in wonder, that bodhicitta inspiration, this just being alive right now. We can be in awe of the hawk's caw, in awe of the hearing, the tweet of the finch, the cool morning air. We awaken to this sacred world. We bless it, and it blesses us. And this is what awakening each moment looks like. It must come from this profound silence. And then we can take a moment to reflect back, maybe to a moment where we recognized through nature, through the love of another, the sacredness, the bigness, the nobleness, the nobility of this life. And you felt it. And when you felt it, you knew it. It is often a simple thing, a ray of light shining through a window, a tiny flower, the felt sense of grass beneath our feet. And then we remember from where we come and who we are. And then we are no longer lost or fearful or confused. And then we nourish that awe again and again with the awe of the present moment. We wake up here and now, just like that moment. And breathe it in. Feel how it affects your own heart and body. There is always a little ache in mine as it gets bigger. And then we nourish this not only with our own sense doors, our own felt sense, our own knowing, this embodied knowing. We nourish it by looking beyond ourselves to see the truth of this goodness, the truth of the sacredness in others. And so we recollect that other who has come before us, who has inspired us, and we breathe them in. And remember, it can be a person from your own lineage, it can be a person from a cosmology, it can be a deity, an entity, it can be nature itself. And we call on this nourishment regularly. We call on the teachings, we call on our own wisdom, and we call on the wisdom, the faith, and the love from others. And we rest in their goodness, remembering that we too are a part of this. And you may begin to feel the truth that as we recollect these realities, the faith turns to wisdom in the remembering. There is nothing to believe, there is only the truth now. And the faith may be the part that allows us to open. Like Carrie said, there is don't know mind in it all. And yet, and yet, in the not knowing, we willingly open. This requires a great faith. And with each breath and then with each moment, that faith becomes wisdom. As I open, so will I see clearly the Dharma. And the Dharma will then serve me and serve the good in this very next moment. And then this leads us very naturally to this stable and verifiable faith, a faith in which we can grow in confidence. And so then, through my practice, through the teachings, through those examples and teachers, I cultivate not only a faith, but a certain courage, a confidence. It is verified. This very opening, this very arriving, this very staying is the path. And we steady the mind and we still the body so that we can, in its purest form, embody this faith and this wisdom. And then we do it again. We arrive, we open completely, we make ourselves tender and vulnerable. And fearless. We trust our capacities. We trust the capacities of all those who have come before us. We have verified the truth of this present moment and our capacity to be awake within it again and again and again. And we awaken and we struggle and we fail and we begin again. And in the moment and over time, this faith becomes unshakable. And unshakable in its tenderness, unshakable in its openness, in its receptivity, in its wisdom. And so we practice like this. We still the body, we awaken the mind, and we open the heart. And then faith becomes not just a part of a cosmology, it becomes a personal transformation. It is not something that we simply study or read about. It becomes the very path of our own awakened heart minds. Noticing what aspects of faith are most resonant for you. Faith in our capacity to awaken, faith in all beings' capacity to awaken, faith in the Dharma, revealing itself each breath, and faith in this community of beings this Sangha, all Sanghas, all beings who also have this very capacity. And from our reflection, from our breathing, it we become it. We place the mind again and again towards these essential qualities. Present, embodied, engaged. You then become that living Dharma, that breathing Buddha, a member of the Sangha of all beings. And it is good. And may this practice be an evidence. May it be verifiable. May it bring awe this very day. I realized that I did not have the musicians' sound on, so you all did not hear that bell, and I got kicked off all at the same time. But here we are once again. So, what are your thoughts about these? We're only going to talk for a few minutes. We all have places to go. Um, Getting ready for the retreat and or the protest and or the German potato salad, whatever you're doing today. Yep, that's on my list. That was a requested item.
Well, what comes up for me is showing up.
Showing up.
Showing up.
Yes. Showing up. And how we show up. And can we show up coming from first this place of faith and wisdom? And as Graciela said, look how easy it is to buy into the way of appearances. And what that means is that it can, by appearance, look like there is a this and a that. It can look like there is a you and a me. It can look like there's a hater and a lover. And it's all to some extent true in the relative and not true, because we are all a part of the whole of it. And the truth is, it's so easy for us all, isn't it? Particularly in a time of threat, in a time of fear, in a time of not knowing, to vilify, to demonize. And it doesn't mean that there is not suffering, right? It doesn't mean that there is not suffering in this world. It doesn't mean that there's not fear in this world. Can we recognize it and respond appropriately? And always then from a place of compassion, even if you're going to shoot the other, says the Dalai Lama, even if this then becomes the requirement, but that it never come from the misperception of the this and that, me and you, good and bad. It will always be an error. It does not mean that there is not confusion in this world. It is certain. It does not mean that there is not suffering in this world. It is certain. It does not mean that there is not fear and hatred in the world. It is certain. And it also means that you don't have to be that. It is certain. And that makes all the difference in all the world. It is certain. And we forget. We all forget. And we don't have to be out on a protest to forget. We're forgetting in our own, right, living rooms. We're forgetting in our own workplace. We're forgetting, right, ourselves. And then we wake up and remember again and again. And it is good. Cindy heard the bell. That's wonderful, Cindy. Good to have you back, Cindy. I think you're back. So then, we keep asking the essential question, which is then, how do I live this moment? How do I live this day? And the day is not yet lived. So what do? We bring a certain commitment, don't we? And a certain faith to it. Like, I'm going to try to remember I am capable of this, even when I just forgot. This is essential, isn't it? To keep us on the path. Even when I have just forgotten, I can now remember just now. And it does take a level of faith, doesn't it? Because sometimes we're pretty sure we're in the hole and there's no way out and it's all over, game over. It's just failed. It is never true. And all of us think it, don't we? Every single one. Like, this is it. It's hopeless. I'm hopeless. It's hopeless. You're hopeless. This cannot be different. And then we remember. And begin again. And remember and begin again. This takes all the faith in all the world, because we must begin again. Huh? And you cannot be hopeless. by the way, in the beginning. Because it takes that energy, doesn't it? I've got to generate that to begin, to show up, said Dennis. I got to do it again. Right? And I'm guessing this won't be the last moment where you are going to have to begin again, like me. But I have unshakable, it is unshakable faith in that effort and in its consequence, by the way, not only for me, not only for you, but the whole of this country and then the whole of this world. Unshakable. And I want you to have it too. So whatever we do today, may we do it wholeheartedly. May we do it with clear seeing, remembering that each person, the person in the car swearing at you, the person on the side of the road is your brother and sister, right? Don't mistake it for some other. Because as Graciela said, I am proud of my heritage, and we are all ultimately a part of the same heritage. We have all come from the same mother and father. Don't forget. Oh, now what? Now what? And bring that with you. And again, it's okay today if it's just faith. Verify. Verify. Remember, as I said, democracy for all, including you. As I looked at that person, they were like, huh, I don't know now. And I don't think we had to know what next yet, did we? We just had to begin there. I want this for you too. I want this same ease, this same happiness, this same freedom. Now what? What we cannot divide then becomes what? Indivisible. But it will take us all, won't it?
Can I share something?
Yes.
So I have a friend, a good friend who I've known since the 80s, lives in DC still. Her son, she was married to a black man, has 2 children. Her son identifies black, and he posted a video last night in DC, downtown DC. It's pouring fucking cats and dogs. Yes. And he is saying things like, praise my ancestors because somebody is out there making it rain, and they're saying they're going to cancel the parade. And he's like, praise be God. Praise the Lord, whatever.
Whatever the rain gods are doing.
I mean, I don't know if it's raining now, but it was so hilarious. And he was just loving, he's like 6'4", teddy bear kind of guy. And he's just laughing, just standing in the rain, laughing. So
That's lovely.
I approach everything as, it will be what it is, whether you come with tons of fear and tons of anger or whatever.
So why, right. Who was it that said, if you can do something about it, do it. No reason to worry. And if you can't do anything about it, why worry? Because you can't do anything about it. And it's true, isn't it? So we just show up, Dennis, just like that. And we do our best, and we remember. It does not mean that this is easy. I don't think I use the word. I don't think it's completely clear in the moments we have yet to live what to do. I don't think so. I think it's harder. I think we have to show up, and I think that takes something. And I think it's the courage and the fearlessness that Chogyam talks about. But he also says, and then we realize that this is a completely sacred world. In our fearlessness, we see. that this is a sacred world and that we are a part of it, and that there are actions to take, things to do that are not separating, that are not aggressive, that are not full of greed or just me or mine. Leslie, I see you there. Did you want to say something before we go?
Historically, I think that it's an interesting fact that Rilke and Hitler were both born in Austria.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Fascinating.
Yes.
Fascinating.
Look at the potential. Right? And here we all are Americans. Right. Fascinating. And, whatever else you sow today, do not sow the seeds of separation. Do not do that. And if you are not sufficiently clear that that will not be of benefit, don't go. Really, don't go. That means maybe you shouldn't. You should stay and support the things you can support with the love you can bring today. And that might mean making German potato salad. Right? Good enough. Good enough. Okay. All right. We're going to close early today because we all have places to go. Is there something else said, Carrie, that I need to know about there? And so we end with a prayer, but as we always say, the prayer is a call. The prayer is a reminder. The prayer is that which we hold in our own heart mind as stabilizing. As supportive, so that when we don't know what else to do, the point of all prayer is to come back into the heart of that. And it must be repeated, as we understand, not only in the traditions, but in the neuroscience, in order to stick in difficult time. That becomes, how beautiful is it, our default. I can't think of a better one. May I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles, and for the boundless multitudes of living beings, may I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and the sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. May we all have happiness and the causes for happiness. May we all be free from suffering and the causes of suffering. May we rejoice and be glad at our good fortune and wish and offer this good fortune to those in need. May we rest and dwell in this vast, open, infinite, and boundless heart-mind, free from aggression, free from hatred, free from greed and self-cherishing, and free from ignorance. If we are not well, no one can be well. If the other is not well, we cannot be well. So may we all be well. And may you be that which contributes today. So be it. Blessings to each of you in this good day. Thank you all. Thank you. Can't wait to see how it goes. Tuesday, Thursday, I will, is it this Thursday? Yeah. Thursday, for the next couple Thursdays, I'll be on for the 30-minute sitting. Greg will be away. Saturday, we've got a lot of Saturdays we'll be here in the garden, including this next Saturday that I will be here. Will be. Yeah. We will not need Zoom only. Next week I'll be here, and looking forward to seeing you and talking about how this good faith played out today. Thank you all. Yes. I think I'm coming off. Hang on. No.